Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: what will the debut of NCAA Football 25 look like? Alix Earle's parents, what she's shared about Mama Lisa, Dad Tom and Stepmom Ashley Dupre. The race gap that shapes American views of war. Why seeing the same GP means fewer visits to the doctor. After anti-woke backlash, Google's Gemini faces heat over China taboos. What will the debut of NCAA Football 25 look like? Yahoo! EA Sports has announced that its NCAA football video game will return. The franchise was last released in 2014 and a new version will be available to play this summer. The game's return is possible after a lawsuit was won by former NCAA champion basketball player Ed O'Bannon against the NCAA for failing to compensate student athletes for their likenesses. The new version of the game will feature name, image and likeness, nil, rules for the first time. Alix Earle's parents, what she's shared about Mama Lisa, Dad Tom and Stepmom Ashley Dupre. Yahoo! Ashley Dupre, the woman who was involved in a sex scandal with former New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, is now married to Thomas Earle. Dupre, who was 23 when she met Earle, is the stepmother of Alix Earle, a social media influencer and podcaster. Dupre and Earle have 3 children together. Dupre, who was an escort when she met Spitzer, has since divorced her first husband and married Earle. Alix Earle has said she gets on well with her stepmother, despite finding it initially difficult to accept her as part of the family. The race gap that shapes American views of war. Foreign affairs. Black Americans have historically been more skeptical of U.S. military action abroad compared to their white counterparts. However, this racial gap in support for war has not been comprehensively investigated by the field of international relations. A recent study analyzed over 60 public opinion polls on the 2003 U.S.-led invasion of Iraq and found evidence of a long-standing racial gap in support for military action. Black Americans were, on average, about 30% less likely to support the Iraq War than white Americans during the George W. Bush and Barack Obama presidencies. This racial gap in war support persists in more recent polling, with Black Americans showing less support for sending troops to defend South Korea, Taiwan, Ukraine, or other Eastern European states. The study suggests that concerns about potential American casualties play a role in Black Americans' lower support for war. Black Americans have historically borne disproportionate casualties in battle, and this history likely contributes to their casualty sensitivity. Additionally, Black Americans' attitudes toward war may be influenced by a sense of linked fate, a concern for the improvement of social and economic conditions for all members of the racial group. The study also highlights the role of political leadership in shaping attitudes toward war, with Black respondents feeling less represented by George W. Bush and exhibiting greater trust in Barack Obama. The racial gap in attitudes toward the use of military force is under-examined by policymakers and the foreign policy establishment. Understanding the concerns and narratives that drive this gap is crucial for building trust and meaningful engagement with Black intellectual leaders, veterans, and activists. Ignoring Black Americans' unease about the impact of military operations risks deepening their alienation from U.S. policies and undermining their willingness to support government policies in the future. Why seeing the same GP means fewer visits to the doctor. Telegraph. Patients who see the same GP are less likely to require multiple appointments, according to a study by the University of Cambridge. Researchers found that patients who saw the same GP made appointments 18% less frequently than those who were seen by different doctors on each visit. Patients with a dedicated doctor waited 18% longer than those without to make their next GP appointment. The study also found that a greater level of continuity of care could reduce the NHS workload by 5%. After anti-woke backlash, Google's Gemini faces heat over China taboos. Al Jazeera. Google is facing criticism over its AI model Gemini's handling of sensitive topics related to China. Users reported that when asked to generate images of events such as the Tiananmen Square massacre and the Hong Kong protests, Gemini failed to produce representative images. The chatbot also declined to translate certain phrases deemed illegal or sensitive by Beijing. Critics argue that Google's approach raises questions about transparency and censorship. However, some believe that Gemini's cautious approach is appropriate due to the complexity of events like Tiananmen Square, which require nuanced understanding and representation. Cal ties program record with 16 three-pointers, rallies to hand Oregon State its 7th straight loss 81-73. The Toronto Star. California, Cal, tied a program record with 16 three-pointers in their 81-73 win over Oregon State. Fardaws Aimaq had a double-double with 21 points and 11 rebounds, while Jalen Cone scored all 17 of his points in the second half. Cal made 16 of 33 from beyond the arc, shooting 48% against Oregon State's top-ranked three-point defense in the Pac-12. Despite leading for over 32 minutes, Oregon State lost their seventh straight game. Cal rallied in the second half, going on a 15-2 run to close out the game. Oregon State led by as many as 11 points in the first half but couldn't hold on. They are literally printing money on silicon. AI sends Nvidia's market value soaring higher than Australia's GDP. ABC. Nvidia, the computer hardware company known for its graphics cards, has seen a surge in demand for its products due to the growing popularity of artificial intelligence (AI) applications. The company's recent financial results exceeded expectations, leading to a 265% increase in its stock value and making it the largest one-day gain in Wall Street history. Despite the potential competition from other tech giants developing their own chips, experts believe that Nvidia will continue to thrive due to the rapid growth of the AI market. However, concerns have been raised about potential supply interruptions and geopolitical risks. Foul play suspected after woman who went for jog found dead at University of Georgia. Yahoo! A woman who had gone for a jog was found dead with visible injuries Thursday on the campus of the University of Georgia, officials said. Foul play is suspected in the death in Athens, the university said in a statement. Google AI shows racially diverse people in historically white scenes. South China Morning Post. Google has temporarily halted the image generation feature of its Gemini AI chatbot after receiving criticism for inaccuracies in historical depictions. Users had posted screenshots on social media showing racially diverse characters in historically white-dominated scenes, leading to questions about whether Google was overcorrecting for racial bias. Previous studies have shown that AI image generators can amplify racial and gender stereotypes. Google apologized for the inaccuracies and said it was working to improve the feature. University of Washington researcher Surajit Ghosh said he supports the pause on generating people's faces but is conflicted about the response, as his research has largely found the opposite problem of marginalized people being erased. Newington old boys escalate fight to keep girls out. The Sydney Morning Herald. A group of former students from Newington College are planning to present 5 resolutions at a special general meeting of the school's Old Boys Union in an attempt to stop the all-boys school from becoming coeducational. The resolutions include motions of no confidence in the school's council, headmaster, and the Old Newingtonians Union Board. The school, which was established 160 years ago, plans to admit girls in 2026, but there has been bitter opposition from some parents and alumni. Some parents have also started a legal challenge, claiming the move is contrary to the school's trust. McCann, Eberle lead way as Kraken beat Canucks 5-2, extending Vancouver's skid to 4. The Globe and Mail. The Seattle Kraken defeated the Vancouver Canucks 5-2 in an NHL matchup on Thursday night. Jared McCann led the Kraken with a goal and 3 assists, while Jordan Eberle contributed 2 goals and an assist. Vince Dunn and Justin Schultz also scored for Seattle. JT Miller and Sam Lafferty scored for Vancouver. The loss marked the Canucks' 4th straight defeat, tying them with the Boston Bruins for the NHL lead at 80 points. Seattle goaltender Philip Grubauer made 19 saves in his first home start since suffering an injury in December. 3 University of Wyoming swimmers killed in car crash on US 287 north of Fort Collins. Yahoo! 3 members of the University of Wyoming swim team were killed in a single vehicle crash on US Highway 287 north of Fort Collins, Colorado. The crash occurred on Thursday afternoon when a Toyota RAV4 carrying 5 occupants drove off the left shoulder of the highway and rolled multiple times. 2 occupants were ejected from the vehicle, while the other 2 occupants were transported to area medical facilities with non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. The University of Wyoming has made counseling resources available to support students and staff affected by the tragedy. 2 new rare COVID vaccine side effects revealed by global study. The Independent. A global study of over 99 million people across 8 countries has identified 2 new harmful but very rare side effects of COVID-19 vaccines, an advance that could lead to better health monitoring of immunized people. Stanchart announces $1 billion share buyback, dividend hike as 2023 profit rises 18%. The Globe and Mail. Standard Chartered reported an 18% rise in pre-tax profit for 2023, in line with forecasts. The bank also announced a $1 billion share buyback and a jump in dividend. However, the bank took an $850 million impairment mainly from its stake in Chinese lender Bohai Bank, which has been hit by increasing bad loans. Standard Chartered also announced restrained new guidance on its future performance, expecting income to grow 5 to 7% between 2024 and 2026, compared to 10% growth in 2023. The bank aims to increase return on tangible equity from 10% to 12% by 2026. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.